It is February in Moscow, minus 18 degrees Celsius. Snow falls in thick, wet flakes that stick to your eyelashes and melt against the warm barrel of the Makarov you are not yet allowed to carry. You stand in the back of a rusted gas van parked behind an abandoned textile factory in the industrial zone of Lubertsy. The engine is off. The only sound is the soft ticking of cooling metal and the wet slap of a body being rolled into heavy black plastic sheeting. Your hands are raw from the cold. You have done this 7 times already this winter. You are the cleaner, the lowest thing that exists in the Bratva. No name on any list, no cut, no respect. Just a kid from the panel blocks who once delivered envelopes for 3,000 rubles a month. Now they call you at 3 in the morning and you show up. You do not ask questions. You tape the plastic tight. You pour in the quicklime. You drag the bundle down the concrete ramp to the frozen canal. The ice is thick enough that the splash is small. Then you walk home through the empty streets, boots leaving dark prints that fill with fresh snow before you reach the next corner. You tell yourself this is temporary. Everyone starts somewhere. 2 years pass. You are 23. The calls now come with a driver's license in a false name and a set of keys to a black Lada. You have moved up. You are the driver. You pick up the cleaner, some new 19-year-old who looks exactly like you once did, and you wait outside cheap apartments while the work happens inside. You keep the engine running at minus 22. You learn the unspoken rules. Never look at the passenger when he gets back in. Never ask why the target was late on his payments. Never keep the change from the petrol station. Your mother still lives in the same flat on the 9th floor. You visit less. She notices the new watch, the better coat, the way you scan every face on the metro. She says nothing. You say nothing. The silence between you grows heavier than any bag you ever carried. 4 years in. You are 25. The organization has watched you. They like that you are quiet. They like that you never complain about the cold or the hours. One night in a smoke-filled office above a shuttered casino on Tverskaya, a man with a gold tooth and a faded prison tattoo on his neck slides an envelope across the desk. Inside is a pistol, a suppressor, and a single photograph. "Your first one," he says. 200,000 rubles, cash on completion. Do it clean. No ceremony, no speech, just the envelope and the expectation that you already know what clean means. You nod. You take the gun. The target is a mid-level accountant who skimmed $47,000 from a cigarette shipment. You follow him for 9 days. You learn his routine, the exact minute he leaves his mistress's building on Sadovia, the cafe where he buys his morning coffee, the alley behind the parking garage where he always lights his cigarette. On the 10th night, you step out of the shadows. The suppressor makes a sound like a hammer hitting wet carpet. He drops. You walk away. The footprints cover your steps in under a minute. That is how you become a contractor. The next 3 years are a blur of airport departure lounges and hotel rooms that all smell the same. You fly Aeroflot to Yekaterinburg, to Novosibirsk, to Vladivostok. You kill a man in a sauna in Sochi when the temperature is plus 42 degrees Celsius and the steam hides the blood. You kill another in a snow-covered parking lot outside a supermarket in Murmansk at minus 31. Each job pays between 250 and 400,000 rubles. You keep none of it in a bank. You keep it in a safe behind a false panel in your new one-room flat on the edge of the city. You learn the bureaucracy of death. There is always a handler. There is always a second phone. There is always a coded message that arrives exactly 48 hours before the job. The parcel is ready for delivery. You learn creative compliance, how to make a suicide look real, how to stage a robbery, how to leave just enough evidence that the police file it under settling of accounts and close the case in 6 weeks. The organization promises you protection, respect, a future. The reality is that you are still replaceable. If you ever hesitate, if you ever talk, if you ever become a liability, the next cleaner will be sent for you. Your girlfriend of 4 years leaves on a Tuesday afternoon. She packs while you are out buying bread. She leaves a note that says only, "I don't know who you are anymore." You read it once, fold it, and burn it in the kitchen sink. You tell yourself it is better this way. Attachments are weaknesses. The organization has taught you that. You are 29 now. They give you the harder jobs, the ones that require travel under 2 passports, the ones where the target is protected. You kill a vor in St. Petersburg who had started talking to the FSB. You kill a businessman in London who owed 7 million euros on a heroin route. You kill a woman in Ukraine because she saw something she should not have seen. Each time, the moral weight feels lighter. You have learned to rationalize in numbers. 1 life for the stability of the entire structure. 1 life so that the shipments keep moving, so that the envelopes keep arriving, so that the system does not collapse. You sleep less, you drink more. You notice that your hands no longer shake when you assemble the suppressor. That is when you understand the identity has gone. The boy who once dragged bodies through the snow no longer exists. There is only the man who pulls the trigger. You are 32. One evening, the second phone vibrates on the nightstand of a hotel room in Kazan. The message is short. Old friend, needs special handling. Tomorrow, details attached. The photograph is a man you have known for 11 years, a vor Vizakone you once drove to meetings, a man who taught you how to read the ice on the canal so the bodies would not surface in spring. He has become inconvenient. He knows too many names. The order is clear. You sit on the edge of the bed for a long time. The room is quiet except for the low hum of the radiator. Outside, snow falls past the window in slow, deliberate flakes. For the first time in years, you feel the old disorientation return, the same feeling you had at 19 when you first stood over a black plastic bag. You realize the promise was never real. There is no retirement plan. There is no quiet dacha on the Black Sea. There is only the next envelope, the next photograph, the next cleaner waiting in the wings. You have become exactly what they needed: efficient, obedient, disposable. You carry out the order at 0617 the next morning in a crowded Moscow metro station on the Abatko-Pokrovskaya line. The platform is full of commuters. The train arrives with a rush of warm air. You step close. The suppressor is pressed against his coat. 2 shots. He falls among the legs of strangers who scream and scatter. You walk up the escalator with the rest of the crowd. No one looks at you. That night, you sit in your flat with the lights off. The safe behind the panel contains $480,000 in mixed currencies, enough to disappear. But you know the truth now. The Bratva does not allow exits. They allow replacements. 3 weeks later, you receive a final envelope. Inside is a single ticket to Vladivostok and a note, "Time to rest." You understand what it means. You pack 1 small bag. You leave the money. You leave the second phone on the table. You walk out into the Moscow night. The snow is falling again, exactly as it fell the first time you dragged a body to the canal. Somewhere behind you, in a different alley, a new 19-year-old is standing over his first plastic-wrapped bundle, hands raw from the cold, telling himself, this is temporary. The system does not end, it simply refreshes. And the snow keeps falling, year after year, covering every footprint before morning.